Time, the chair recognizes Councilmember Brooks, who will present a resolution recognizing March the 20th, 2025 as Children First Day in the city of Philadelphia. Would Donna Cooper and those accompanying her please join the council member at the podium? Joining Member Brooks are members O'Rourke, Squilla, Landau, Phillips, Gautier, Lozada, Gilmer Richardson, Ahmad, and Bass.
How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Where's Donna? Is she right here?
Oh, there she is. There's
Oh, I was gonna say.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Every children first.
All right. Thank you to my colleagues who are joining me today in celebrating Children First on their 45th birthday. This organization is a driving force beyond so much of the work and progress we've made for young people over the past 5 decades. From full-day kindergarten to SEPTA passes for Philly students, many of the things we take for granted today were made possible through the work of Children First. Year after year, they have spoken up for Philadelphia's young people, laying out the data, the research, and the detailed policy proposals that compel elected leaders to invest in our children. As a longtime education activist, I know these wins are not easy. I have seen Children First take the fight for our children from neighborhood elementary schools all the way to the halls of power in Harrisburg. Every time we've had a win. Children First has been a part of the push that made it happen. Their work has impacted generations of Philadelphians and will continue to brighten the future of generations to come. I'm so glad to have a chance to thank and congratulate Executive Director Donna Cooper and all the folks at Children First for their lasting contributions to the city. Recognizing March 20, 2025 as Children First Day in the city of Philadelphia.
Whereas, in 1978, Christy Cricket Hastings, Ruth Madden, Happy Fernandez, Marcine Madelman, Margaret Estee, Lucy Sayer founded Philadelphia Public Citizens for Children and Youth, PCCY, to ensure government agencies and nonprofit institutions were fulfilling their responsibilities to improve the lives of the city's youth. And
whereas PCCY immediately formed a task force on juvenile justice and has pushed for dozens of reforms over the past 45 years, including leading the 2018 advocacy to create the Youth Residential Placement Task Force established in 2018, and the Youth Ombudsperson's Office created in 2022 that added a layer of protection for children who are institutionalized. And whereas PCCY's inaugural report, Status of Children and Youth in Philadelphia in 1985, establishing its reputation for basing PCCY's advocacy efforts on strong research and analysis. The 2025 report on the status of children found that 47% of Philadelphia's families need a better partner in government to meet the basic needs for healthy child development of their children. And
these citizens, activists, pushed to redress the Rizzo administration's legacy of disinvestment in children, including failure to repair playgrounds, reduction in youth programs, and hostility toward Black teens who protested for better public schools. And
Whereas PCCY played a multi-decade role in meeting the health care needs of children, including persuading the city to create 3 teen-focused health clinics, providing more than 10,000 children free eye exams and dental care, playing a leadership role in the state's enactment of the Children's Health Insurance Program, which is CHIP, in 1992, and its current statewide campaign addressing the needs of 147,000 uninsured children. And whereas in 1990, PCCY sought to address the lifetime consequences of childhood lead poisoning, paving the way for City Council to pass groundbreaking legislation, lead poisoning prevention ordinances in 2012 and 2018 that reduced childhood exposure to lead by more than 50%. And
whereas PCCY successfully petitioned to get every city pool open for the summer of 1989 and in 1993 to dramatically expand the Summer Play Streets program that now provides safe spaces for play and summer meals for children living on nearly 350 blocks in the city. And whereas in 1995, Mayor Rendell credited PCCY for convincing him to make full-day kindergarten universally available. Mayor Street, in response to a PCCY call to action, created the Office of Early Childhood Education in 1999, and in 2022, Mayor Kenney backed the organization's call for universal pre-K, paving the way for the Philly Pre-K program that now serves more than 5,000 children. And
whereas in 1998, when new stadiums were being constructed, PCCY worked with leaders in council to ensure that $1 of every ticket sold at new venues would support after-school programs for children, generating more than $20 million for youth programs. And whereas in 2003, PCCY convinced the state that funding rural transit, but not Philadelphia school transit, was unfair. 65,000 public school students now travel to school for free in Philadelphia, just like peers across the state. And
whereas PCCY led the effort to amend the Home Rule Charter in 2007 to create the Philadelphia Youth Commission, which continues to give 21 youth leaders and their peers a formal perch to advise council and the mayor. Whereas youth and parents call on PCCY to tackle educational quality, making the case to improve reading instruction, which calls PCCY to partner with UAC to form the Read by Fourth campaign. And parents and youth demanded access to mental health services for children and youth, a cause now being advanced by the newly minted Strong Minds Bright Futures Partnership. And
whereas PCCY ran successful campaigns to allocate 1% of the sales tax and a portion of the cigarette tax to generate more than $170 million annually for public schools, and championed the sweetened beverage tax, which supports 352 Philly pre-K programs, paid for the upgrade of more than 30 recreation centers with 40 more in the pipeline, and funds 20 community schools. And whereas in 2021, PCCY changed its name to Children First to reinforce its mission of putting children first in public policy and practices. Philadelphia is a better place because of the focused mission and advocacy efforts of Children First. And
whereas since 1980, Children First has rallied thousands of parents to call on elected officials to do more to meet the needs of children, helping them make demands on City Council every year, and taking busloads of Philadelphians to Harrisburg. And whereas in the last 10 years, these advocacy efforts caused the state and city to increase investments in Philadelphia's children by more than $2 billion. And
whereas Since its earliest years, the organization benefited from long-serving visionary and uniquely dedicated leaders, starting with Shelley Yanoff, who led the charge for children there for 25 years, followed by her successor, Donna Cooper, who has been here at the helm for 13 dedicated years. Now therefore be it
resolved that the Council of the City of Philadelphia hereby recognizes March 20th, 2025 as Children's First Day in Philadelphia. Further resolved that an engrossed copy of this resolution be presented to Children First as an expression of gratitude and admiration of the Council of the City of Philadelphia.
The chair recognizes Donna Cooper.
Thank you very much. Especially thank you, Councilperson Brooks, for being the sponsor of this resolution. I've never spoken from this point of view. This is fascinating. I'm usually over there. So I want to say, you know, this council was formed 73 years ago, and this is your, I think, 19th councilmanic session. And for 2/3 of the life of this council, PCCY, or Children First, has been here working side by side with you. And we're grateful to all of your effort to work with us. You'll notice that many of us are wearing white sneakers today. And we are doing that because the names that Councilman O'Rourke referenced, they walk these halls with sneakers because they knew the fight for kids had to be tireless and they didn't want their feet to get tired. So today we wear them, and we'll probably keep wearing them because it's so much better. Only 8 years after we were founded, the great Marian Tasco was elected to this council. And for 28 years, she served on behalf of the citizens of Philadelphia, and she and the great Shelley Yanoff were joined at the hip advancing legislation for kids. And in 2000, another champion for kids was elected, Blondell Reynolds Brown. And I know Blondell wanted to be here today. She and I spoke last week, but she could not come. But together with Marian, they were a dynamic duo, using every tool in the toolbook to pass legislation for kids in every session. And they were helped by Councilman Jones, Councilwoman Blackwell, Councilperson Happy Fernandez, John Street, Maria Quinones Sanchez, and Helen Gim. All used their positions to help Marian and Blondell make it possible for the great work you heard about in our resolution. We can only do as good as our council persons are. Well, I'm very grateful to this council for taking the time to call out our accomplishments because I know your schedule is so busy. I want to thank the council as a body, you now and your predecessors, for working with us to boldly stand up for children. Your courage and vision has caused stadium owners and landlords and lawyers and insurance companies and large companies, at times a reluctant mayor, to stoop down to the eye level of children and from that vantage point see that they have a role in playing to give the children of the city what they need to grow up and run our city. And for them to become the stadium owners, the lawyers, the landlords, the insurance companies, the council persons, and even the mayor. That's our goal. From the youth sports leagues that build the leadership that many of you see as how you got your start as young leaders, to the superlative high schools that I hear you speak about, that you graduated from and owe your start, to the protections offered by our health centers and social services that some of you have relied on when things were hard, to the leadership opportunities, even those you created today with the students from Roxborough High, that create an opportunity for children to see democracy in action. Children First is grateful for what you do, and we stand with you, continue to make it possible. And there's so much more we need to do together. We're inspired by the work in this session of Councilpersons Phillips and Landau to give our kids a better second chance. And we hope that the great Alice Beck and Larry Krasner will become champions with them in our changes that we hope for juvenile justice. Councilperson Gilmore Richardson was the technician who crafted the most protective lead ordinance in the nation, and we will rely on her expertise and leadership to do all we can to get that number of children poisoned by lead to 0. We are a partner in this council with the great councilpersons Brooks and Isaiah Thompson, working together to make our schools better and to deliver on educational justice. And we are partners with Councilperson Squilla and our great Council President Kenyatta Johnson, who champion the need to give every child in this city access to great high-quality pre-K. These councilpersons do what they do because they have the cooperation and support of all of their colleagues. They are not doing this alone, and we know that we have you as our partners. We are deeply grateful to each of you, every one of you members of council, and as Shelley Yanoff would say at the close of every day, I hope you will continue, and we will all continue to ask ourselves, what are we doing for kids today? Thank you. It is, with the permission of the council president, I am very grateful to introduce Jasmine Jones to you, one of our parent advocates. Sorry? Huh? Yeah, Jasmine to you, my apologies. And because she's a parent advocate, and what we're doing, we do with parents every day in the city, and I hope you listen to her carefully.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Jasmine Banks, and I am a grateful Children's First parent advocate. I am also a person who has raised 15 children, and I have adopted 5 older sons. So I stand here today before you as an at-risk parent during Women's History Month to honor and acknowledge one of the most amazing and influential organizations in my life, that being Children's First. A powerful organization which is celebrating 45 years of supporting youth like mine. And I happen to agree with former Philadelphia Mayor and Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell, who said that Donna Cooper, the powerful executive director of Children's First, is the conscience and soul of his administration. However, I'd like to add, and I strongly believe that many other Children's First parent advocates would agree with me, that the entire hardworking, dedicated, and committed staff at Children's First, under the leadership of Donna Cooper, collectively are the conscience and soul of all parents in Philadelphia. In short, I say this because they are also approachable, courageous, ethical, inspiring, serves as role models, teachers, and mentors. And what is most impressive to me is that they are also integrative, always involving parents and caregivers in all of their initiatives and connecting us to opportunities to learn, grow, heal, and serve. And it is these combined qualities that places them into a league of their own, causing them to stand out from other nonprofits and community-based organizations. And despite all of these attributes and all of these years of dedicated service to our youth, they, and now we, since I am now a part of Children's First Forever, continue to face tremendous resistance with providing basic and essential dedicated funding to support our most vulnerable youth, like maintaining the soda tax, for example. However, I assure you that we will not give up, nor will we go away. Although the struggle continues, victory is certain. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Well, council will be at ease.